Hello, welcome to Convict Inc. I'm your host, Robert Rosso, and I'm here to give you I was going to say I'm here to give the people what they want. I'm going to leave. I'm not going to stop this. Fuck that shit. Please hit the subscribe. Please hit the like button, and if you haven't subscribed, please do so. This is the third video I did today. I did one, and then I did the message real quick. And I'm going to put this one out there. This is for the dope fiends and the junkies that like those stories. This one's bad as I get. Okay, here we go. In the 1960s, a man by the name of James Walker robbed a drugstore in the state of Indiana. And for his crime, I believe he was given 5 years in the Indiana Department of Corrections. Not wanting to stick around, James and how many was there? Damn. Several other individuals decided to escape from Michigan City, I do believe. Pause. Anybody out there that knows this, because there's people in Indiana who know the story, correct me on the comment section if it wasn't Michigan City. Let me go. Start again. From what James would later tell me, I believe that they escaped through the pipes under the yard. I believe that was the case. I just got several escape stories mixed up. I believe that was the case, and this was in 1966. I'm almost positive. And they ran up to the warden's house. Home was the warden's wife and kids, I do believe. I do remember James telling me that one of his friends wanted to rape the daughters of the warden, and a fight broke out because that wasn't going to happen. That's not what they were doing. And eventually, they got a car. They had a standoff with the state police, and they drove away. And they made it for 3 days. During that time, he met a girl, partied, and if you were to talk to him 20 plus years late, 30 plus years later, 30, yeah, it was as if he was talking about yesterday. The man I'm referring to was named Happy Jack in federal prison. Happy Jack James Walker. When he was returned to the Department of Corrections, I believe he was given a life sentence. I remember he told us that he was put in the hole that is underground of a prison for 10 years, and they didn't have anything back then. The hole was the hole. I don't think there was any reading material. I'm pretty sure he was the one that said there wasn't any reading material. Let me tell you why I got confused real quick, because I've been to Alcatraz, and I remember the stories over there. And since I've been in prison, there's other escape stories. So shame on me for doing this. Let me get back. Eventually, Happy Jack got back out into general population, and he was the man in was it Michigan City? I believe it was. Everybody that I knew who did time with Happy Jack in Indiana will tell you he was running shit. He was fucking boss hog. Serious, dangerous. That he was the guy. Did a lot of dope, loved heroin. There was a money order scheme that he and other prisoners were involved in. That is, they would change the money order. Let's say a $10 money order. They would turn into a $100 money order inside the prison, send them back out in visitation, and pop off, turn $10 money orders into $100 money orders or whatever. This lasted for a while. They made a lot of money doing this. Eventually, the feds caught on to the case, and he was sent from the state prison into the feds. And I believe he had 80 years total. Those were the sentences stacked. probably look some of this up on the internet and find out the details exactly behind this. But I'm telling you, what I just told you was, if not on point, spot on, close enough. And please correct me if I'm wrong on the comments section if you know. Now, here's where we're going. I met Happy Jack in 1998 inside USP Leavenworth. He was in his 70s at the time. He looked like Willie Nelson with glasses, long salt and pepper or graying hair, and he wore a Willie Nelson bandana. And very rare would you see Happy Jack take off that bandana. No, he was a radio repairman. He ran a store. He gambled. He shot dope in his 70s. There were rumors that I'm sort of watching it, that he was hot. Okay, I'm gonna get back to that later because that's not. There were lots of rumors, and because he never got in any trouble. I remember a time that he shot dope. 2 hours later, he was pissed. Miraculously, he didn't go to the hole. He would get his soldering stuff taken and he'd get it back hours later. Soldering gun and stuff for radio parts. Now, a lot of guys liked him. He was well respected, but there were issues surrounding him back there. I want to say that because out of the Indiana Department of Corrections, I would hear the same stuff. And later, and I'll get to that later. Well, I remember Happy Jack sitting around telling stories, and he would tell the story and talk about the girl he met when they escaped and what a great time he had. And I just remember looking at that guy going, oh, Jesus Christ, I hope this isn't me. I had life without parole. I just got there, and I'm watching this old man talk about something that happened in 1966 like it was yesterday, thinking, oh my God, is this what I'm going to be doing? Is that what I'm going to be doing, is sitting around talking about banging a girl who's now dead? Just like, because that's what guys in prison talk a lot about, sex stories. I mean, it's true. And he did it too, but the look he had in his eyes when he talked about the girl he was with was like it was his love from yesterday. And that was really fascinating and crazy to me. Also, he was a hardcore Klansman, as were some of the guards in Indiana. As a matter of fact, it was a prison guard who got him hooked up in the Klan, or vice versa. I think he started a bunch of prison guards in one of the chapters. And if truth be told, it was one of the Klansmen who helped them escape. Okay. So when I say that Happy Jack liked to do heroin, he did. He wasn't somebody like out of control like we were, who were in our 20s and 30s and partied and drank. And I mean, when I say we shot dope and drank, it was like every chance we got. He would go a while and not do it. And he also liked to save his money. He liked to hustle. He'd get like a little baby boom boxes that nobody else had before they came out on commissary. And, you know, stuff like that. He was if you could get on the black market, he was the guy. There came a night, 2000, was it in 2000 or in 2000 or 2001? And I know somebody said, forget the dates, it doesn't matter, but it helps me. When there wasn't very many drugs on the compound. It was after 9 o'clock at night. We're all hanging around looking like junkies who didn't have a fix. That's what we looked like. And Happy Jack called me, I will say Alex, and let's say Swivel. I'm going to change the names of some of the characters in this story. So, 3 of us are called in a Happy cell. He said, you youngsters look like you need a little help. We're like, what are you talking about? He's like, right, come here, give me that spoon right there. Grabs a spoon, tells us to put some water and throw some dope out. White dope powder, quite a bit. Good chunk for 3 people, okay? So we call it, you know, people that shoot dope, that's 3 to a spoon. There was 2 outfits, I think, total, if I remember correctly. Was it 1 outfit? If it could have been. Now, let me tell you, people that don't understand prison dope shooting. Again, let me go through this. You got a big pin. You cut the big pin in half. You take a needle, a regular point from a regular syringe. You break it off. They either get them from medical, or people's wives would bring points in, and they'd sell points for $15 a point. I remember Johnny L., I'm not going to put his last name. Johnny L. had a girlfriend that was nearby, and that was one of his hustles, was just, he didn't sling dope, he sling points, and people bought them all day long. You take that point, you melt it into the big needle, you have something this big, then you get a rubber piece, or what's called a binky, from the chow hall, out of an industrial milk bag, big bags. They have the teat on the end, cut that squeezes, that can push your dope out or suck it in. It's dope shooting for dummies. It is, I mean, just the most basic. You push out, you suck the dope in from the spoon. Find a vein, kapoop, you push the dope in. It's just that simple. Dope shooting for dummies, 101. Anyway, so, and if you were sharing a needle, which we did often, the way I used to do it in the beginning was this. First, it was all about bleach. Bleach only. I would only use bleach, and then people would say the bleach fucks up the rubbers. You can't use bleach, blah, blah, blah. And then it was 5 or 8 rinses. So rinse 5, 8 times. That was going to clear everybody's blood out. That was going to work. And I'm going to tell you, it worked for me for 5 years, okay? I did catch Hep C, and I know the shot I got it from. But, so we prided ourselves on being clean dope fiends. So if there was 3 or 7 of us on using one outfit, as long as you were cleaning that outfit out, hey, it was all good. I know that sounds disgusting. It sounds disgusting to me telling it. Yeah. There's my laugh. It's almost embarrassing, but fuck, it's what it was. It's what it is right now in prison, trust me. Okay, so we're in the room. To get back to the store, we're in the room, three in the spoon. I remember when I hit that shot, it rocked me. It rocked me, as it did Swivel and Alex. Right behind us comes Happy, comes the old man, and he threw in the spoon a little more than all 3 of us did. And I remember saying, Happy, that's too much. As did I. You can't do all that. Well, I was shooting dope before you son of a bitches were born. Or when you were still shitting green. I can do blah, blah. That was what he said. Drew it up, hit it. You can see the life drain. He had problems, and he knew he had problems, and he went white, and he made it outside of his cell, and he hung on to the bar. Now, second tier, held the bar, Holden, sweat running. I'm in trouble. It's what, man, and I'm sorry because people have gone up to me about my laugh. It's sixth sense of humor, but it's looking back. You just remember because you said it. You knew what was going to happen. If you were around it, you knew exactly what was going to happen. So, what do you do when somebody's overdosed? He's still standing now, but it's a miracle. It's just because by whatever. I was going to say grace of God, but I don't want to use that term right there. Standing on the bar, then he knew it was time to go in. Now, what do you do when somebody's fucked up? You either walk them or you ice them. Somebody, don't remember who, whatever, got ice. Ran and got ice. Now, it's about 9:30 at night. Prison locks down at 10. Happy Jack had no celly. He also had a big fat knot of dope and hundreds of books of stamps. He was a stamp. He was a loan shark. He had a big store. And his cell was full of commissary. There was a guy named Robert Maxwell, a.k.a. Max. And Max, who said he was in prison for carjacking, but really was in prison for carjacking, but left out the part about raping the girl. Found out years later, but he left that part out. was one of Happy Jack's closest friends. He didn't shoot dope, and he hated junkies because his mom was a junkie, and he talked really bad about women. And when I found out that he raped the woman he carjacked, it all made sense. He was military too, by the way, when that happened. We all were in the cell. There was people icing him, walking him. But the truth is, we knew when we left the cell that there was no way he was going to make it. In the cell that night, I can say we were like vultures. And that is, we knew what we were going to find in the cell the next day. We knew he'd be gone. So, again, he had heroin. He had money. Sold money in prison, 100 book stamps, $500. So he had over $1,000 worth of prison currency in a store for days. The next morning, as soon as the doors went, myself, Swivel, Tag, and John, let's just say that. Let's just say me, Swivel, and then Tag, and then John. That's how it goes. First, me and Swivel. Go to Happy's cell, look in. There he is. Dead. Laid out. Bandana on, laying down. Got the foam on his mouth where he vomited. Blue, purple actually at the time. Pasty white. Looked like Willie Nelson laying dead on the bed. So the first thing we did is try to find the dope. Where's the dope? He's got the dope, and it's good dope because somebody died on it. We know it's good dope. We did it. So we start looking for the dope. As we're looking for the dope, in comes Tag. That's what I call it. And he starts looking for stamps. And at some point, it was brought up about all the stuff in the cell, the commissary. So we started grabbing bags, net bags, filling up all the commissary. And I'm going to tell you, the truth is, dead men don't need commissary. I don't know how else to say it. Dead men don't need commissary. And that's what we were getting. Nor do they need dope, nor do they need money. I know that sounds sick to some, but what it is. Now, we found said dope. We found an outfit. And we all wanted to do a shot. So we sat in the cell with Happy there. In memory of Happy, actually, what somebody said, and we shot dope. Oh, this is wrong. Another one of my stories I'm going to hell for, but that's what happened. And that's not the worst. One of the guys, I'm not even going to say which one, was hard to hit. And somebody suggested that Happy's bandana would be good to use to tie up their arms. So he took the bandana off, put it around, tied his arm off with Happy. At another point, one of the guys needed a pair of shoes, and there was a brand new pair of shoes on Happy's feet. And he took the shoes off, replaced them with the shoes he had on, put them on. And we took all the commissary, found the dope, and still hadn't found the money. John, let's say, then comes in, sees that we've all vultured on this already because everybody knew. Rapo Max popped his head in and was upset, but was not going to say anything. He was a pussy. He was upset because that was his friend, and walked off disgusted. Maybe he should have been, because it's kind of disgusting really thinking about it now, even though I've got that laugh. And the stamps were found. The stamps were in the back of his pants. Put them down his pants. And I don't know if you know what happens with people who pass away, but sometimes they defecate. And there's definitely defecation on the stamps, which were all in a bag. So he pulled them out, and people were arguing over, hey man, we want that. Hey man, da-da-da-da. I left first. I didn't need much commissary. I had dope. But this is what I will say. His cell was cleaned out. All the commissary was taken. Shot dope with him right there. Made crack jokes that Happy would be proud. And let me tell you, stop, because I'm criticizing us a little bit too much, even though it's a scumbag story. Listen, this is a guy, no bullshit, who would have loved this. He for sure would say he didn't need stamps, commissary, send it all away, take my shoes, 100%. And if you're a dope fiend, you guys understand. So he would have just thought this was the best thing on earth. No bullshit. I'm not joking. I'm not even trying to justify. I'm just putting a fact out of there. Yeah. So the one thing that we made sure was done, I actually was the one that did it, was I took all his personal effects, that is his letters from home and his property from home, and made sure that Max got him, I think it was, to give to the cops, because to get to his family. So anything that would be personal to the family, there was like something like that he would have wanted sent home, that got home. That's true shit. Not trying to clean up the story and sound like good guys here, but that's real talk. Anyway, the staff found out. Max went in and informed the cops that Happy was laying in the bed dead. His cell had been totally robbed. It was wiped out, you can tell. And they rewound the cameras, but they only rewound them so far back to watch the guys take the commissary out. I wasn't that fucking stupid, okay? I wasn't that person. So everybody else got locked up. I got the dope. And the stamps, dude got hit with the stamps too. Yeah, so let me tell you this. I wrote a story about this. Forgot what blog it was going to be posted on, or it was posted on, from FCI Terre Haute. And when I did, it wasn't, as soon as I pushed send, because I did it over the computer, sent it out to Marta, who then had it posted, or I sent it to Seth for a guerrilla convict who had it posted. It wasn't an hour or two later that here comes SIS. And the guy's name was Camden. And he said, "You knew Happy Jack?" And I said, yeah, and I thought I was in some kind of trouble. I said, oh, fuck, was there some kind of statute of limitations? Am I going to get hit for some kind of murder? Blah, blah, blah. I wasn't there. I was thinking all this shit. And he said, my God, he was a legend. I knew Happy well when I first started off. He used to work the visitation room. And when he worked the visitation room, he had a scam going on where he'd get dope would be dropped off in the visit room and he would bring it in. And remember I said the part about people suspected him of being a rat. I said that not to besmirch his character, but because of what Camden says. Now, let me say this. This comes from a cop. This comes from a correctional officer, I should say. And, so is he lying or is he not? But he said, and that part about him being hot, he said, he absolutely worked for us. He said, Happy talked a guy out that had a female held hostage. Now, that's a good thing. So somebody in Indiana State Prison, whatever prison it was, had a woman that he was going to rape, and Happy Jack talked him down from it, according to Camden. And also, he was just giving up information for whatever reason. So I believe that he gave up information on the drugs that were coming in through the visitation room. So let me tell you real quick on how that would work. Cops in prison, like the cops out here, they use informants. So If they know like an informant's involved in drug transactions, they'll let him go as long as they can get the people that they want. They'll let drugs come in prison all day until they go after somebody they want. That's how it works. So what I was told was that Happy Jack was working for people in Indiana Department of Corrections. That is staff. That is, he was an informant for staff. Straight up. There are guys, he was a big, big name there, and he was a big, big shot caller there. And I know what I saw, and I know what didn't smell right from the old man. Now, there were a lot of guys that used to say, you know, something needs to be done with that fucking old man because I just did this, and an hour after I told him, I got knocked off. He's obviously hot, but he was old. But that was the story of Happy Jack James Walker. Oh, and his brother knew a senator. I think it was a federal senator. He had people on the outside that were really pulling for him to get out. And from what I understand, he was in a good position to get out. He wasn't in the best of health, but he wasn't in the worst of health either. That had nothing to do with his overdose. He did way too much. And let me go ahead and finish the story up this way. The guy he got the drugs from was a kid from that's the best way to put it because the name would be he was a kid that was from an island, one of the Caribbean islands. And he found me because I'd done dealings with them. And when somebody overdoses, I've said this in the previous videos, everybody wants that dope. And I end up getting all the rest of that dope. Because it's like, again, when people overdose, junkies want it. And definitely I wanted the drugs. And yeah, that was the story of Happy Jack James Walker as I remember, as I've witnessed, as I was a part of, and as I was told by staff who knew him and knew him well. And I also had some inmates confirm that they had heard, that did time, that they had heard Happy Jack had knocked some people off in the Indiana Department of Corrections through that visitation room gig that I was talking about. So this isn't just something that popped up. Anyway, Happy Jack James Walker, R.I.P.